What happens when a major malware as a service platform gets exposed, not by the feds, but by its own underground rivals? Well, in today's video, we're breaking down a story you don't hear that often, and we'll be going over the internal collapse of Lumma Stealer after a doxing campaign took its operators offline. Let's get into it. A lot of the information from today's video is going to be pulled from this Trend microblog, which will be posted in the description of the video. We're going to start with the key takeaways. A targeted underground exposure campaign leaked sensitive details of alleged core members of Lumma Stealer, coinciding with a sharp decline in observed activity. We'll take a look at this later in the video. This exposure, along with the compromise of the threat actors' Telegram accounts, caused a drop in Lumma Stealer activity for both new sample detections and command and control operations. So here's what to understand. We're not talking about the usual law enforcement takedown storyline. That's actually already happened with Lumma Stealer, and they survived. Instead, this was infighting or reputational damage and exposed identities within the cyber underground, a kind of when the criminals expose each other scenario. That's interesting because it shows how one of the top Infostealer operations can falter not just from outside pressure, but from internal collapse. Scrolling down a little bit to the decline, we can see that Lumma Stealer's growth and wide adoption was due to its efficiency, support, and frequent updates. Beginning in June, activity levels remained pretty high, with fresh samples continuing to appear in the wild, indicating both operator resilience and a strong demand within the cybercrime ecosystem. It's worth pausing here. Lumma didn't just creep up, it dominated the Infostealer space. Why? Because it hit that sweet spot in the underground, which is powerful enough to steal crypto wallets, browser data, cookies, etc., and simple enough that the other threat actors could actually use it. When you're number one in the criminal market, you get a lot of visibility. And with that visibility, you also become a target. What goes up doesn't always stay up. In early September 2025, Trend Telemetry began to register a steady decline in Lumma Stealer sample detections and command and control activity. Taking a look at these graphs here, we can actually see that activity. On September 17th, 2025, Lumma Stealer's official Telegram accounts were reportedly compromised or stolen. Here we can see a picture of a representative of Lumma Stealer posting in an underground forum regarding their Telegram accounts being stolen. And here's where it gets really interesting. Late August to October 2025, a doxing campaign published extensive personal and operational details of 5 individuals allegedly connected to the Lumma Stealer operation. This disclosure includes highly sensitive details such as passport numbers, bank account information, email addresses, and links to various online profiles. So imagine this, your underground business is based on trust. Yes, even criminals have to trust each other. Then your names, passports, bank accounts get leaked. Your communications channel like Telegram gets hijacked, so your customers begin to doubt you. That's exactly what happened here. The operations of one of the largest malware as a service platforms hit a crisis point and fast. Also, keep in mind the article notes that the accuracy of the doxed information has not yet been independently verified. So this could not even be true, but it led to huge implications for the Lumma Stealer crew. And of course, as you probably guessed, the campaign may also be motivated by personal or competitive grudges. This means this isn't black and white. The developers of Lumma Stealer may not have been doxed. It's a very murky situation, which honestly makes it a very interesting story. Customers of Lumma Stealer's operators have been migrating to alternative Infostealer malware as a service platforms, mainly Vidar and StealC, and related services like Amadeus saw reduced activity. This transition is also affecting the broader ecosystem. Meanwhile, other malware authors are capitalizing on the situation by aggressively marketing their own alternative offerings, raising the likelihood of new, stealthier Infostealer variants entering the market. So here's the ripple effect. When Lumma wobbled, its customers didn't just stop, they moved. So platforms like Vidar and StealC saw big upticks. The underground market doesn't pause, it just pivots. Here's an example here of a new Infostealer ad comparing its services to Lumma Stealer and pointing out all of its flaws. Just because these people are criminals does not mean they don't operate like a business. Even on this ad, we can see that they will link you to the Lumma C2 any.run analysis and also an analysis from Bleeping Computer. These people are really out here to advertise their products over other competitors and do whatever is necessary to take their competitors out. This is something that we need to be on top of as defenders because changes in the supply means changes in tactics, tooling, and targeting. What's quiet one week might explode the next. This incident illustrates an important point, which is in the world of infostealers, being number one means facing scrutiny and attacks from both defenders and competitors alike. So what can we pull from this? A few takeaways. Even top-tier malware as a service platforms are vulnerable, not just to law enforcement, but to reputational hits and underground warfare. In the future, we're going to be doing an analysis of Lumma Stealer, so make sure you subscribe so you can check that out as well. And all right, that's the scoop on Lumma Stealer's crash and the shockwaves in the underground malware as a service world. If you liked this breakdown and found it helpful, just make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next one.